Anti-Afro Svengalis, I'm here to talk about jobs. We've heard people griping about jobs being contacted. And what I want to do first, I want to go backward in time. This is, I believe, August of September of 2021. You're going to hear Let Me See Your Handcuffs griping as she usually does. And she's going to make some comments about calling jobs. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to address those comments. So stay tuned and I will return.
Binary is still getting calls made to his job. Even if I stop, she's going to keep doing it. And then she's going to do it to other people. How do we stop the harassment? Okay, that's what I want to know. How do we stop the harassment? And those of you who are telling me, Mayor, no mind, you don't have your picture up on the goddamn YouTube. And they don't know your real name. We see Stargate face. We see Binary face. They see mine and Nikki. Because after this, I don't know if I can do this anymore. But the thing is, all of us individually being attacked can't do it anymore either. And if she's allowed to keep doing this because, hey, she's a woman and we're women, or, oh, it's their fault, or whoever, when does it stop? So everybody's open game. So we just what? Never what is this what's gonna stop? Never say her name? Because there are people they never said her name and they've been still on a goddamn thumbnail or a goddamn video made. Oh wow, she wants to arrest me now? Oh, this is new. Right now, it's 10 people out here who've got a constant rotation of videos on her channel, and she is affecting people's livelihood and their work. Yeah, she does say, let me see your handcuffs. Hey everyone, this is Let Me See Your Transcript, your very favorite history teacher. Also your new president of the new AFW.
We have some preliminaries before I get to the details about jobs. The last clip actually came at the beginning of the video from which I pulled the clips from. The first one was Let Me See Your Handcuffs. Let Me See Your Handcuffs. As a reminder, Try to Steal Anti-Fraud Warriors, LLC. That is one of the reasons why she has to be dealt with. That's one of many reasons. Just want to make sure we get these preliminaries out of the way. Also, Let Me See Your Handcuffs got so frustrated feeling that the females were not effective. She tried to get me jumped. She tried to arrange for me to get my behind beat jumped, my ass kicked by dudes. So when I started getting the cops more involved, that's where she got scared off. But she was arranging me to get jumped because she saw what she was doing with a bunch of females was not effective. So yes, her ass needs to be arrested for that. She deserves the name Let Me See Your Handcuffs. Let Me See Your Handcuffs is lying straight through her teeth. There aren't any individuals who I have just jumped up and started talking about and doing content on. But let's say that I did. So what? I could do that. It just so happens that Let Me See Your Handcuffs is a liar. The only person I mentioned by typing into a chat, and I may have mentioned it in a video briefly, but it wasn't the title of the video, was a situation with Propane Oak Lane and King Kong Crazy and the family pick. Now, I've addressed that before. Notice that she doesn't give any names when she says Binary is still getting calls on his job. Well, let me tell you who was calling Binary's job to the point where he filed a restraining order. It's against the person who's contraband on this channel, whose name is not mentioned unless under certain circumstances. And this is the person that Let Me See Your Handcuffs runs with. So she wanted to give you the impression that I was calling this man's job and harassing the employer. You are a liar. And she never gave the names because there are no names. Although I have every right to post content on whoever I want, I don't post content on people unless they bring my name up first. Her lying is never ending. She never tells you about the restraining order that Binary's job placed on this person because they were harassing that employer. This person had 2 additional situations where he was harassing agencies in an attempt to try to get me and Rev G in trouble. We never were in any trouble with these agencies that he called. He was harassing that agency, but she never tells you that. There you have it. How Let Me See Your Handcuffs just says what she wants to say in order to try to get you to believe something that is false. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move forward and play some clips from Propane Oak Lane's live stream on December 24th. It ran 6 hours plus, and you have people on here making comments about jobs. Let Me See Your Handcuffs again is one of them, griping. But first, you're going to hear from someone called King Kong Crazy. I think most of you know who he is. I'm going to contain my comments to the focus on jobs for this particular video, but I'm going to play these clips. So listen carefully. Then I'm going to come back and continue on with the commentary. Stay tuned and I will return.
You feel some type of way, Stargate, and that is fine that you feel that way. But again, I feel like you are stupid for dealing with a woman and a man that is known for contacting people's jobs, careers, trying to fuck up their real life. And y'all want to know why I don't really fuck with y'all? Because y'all really don't want to keep this shit about YouTube. You got people like Anti-Afro Svengalis that will contact the job of people that she will contact the job of people. She will contact the job.
Okay, so the best place to start, I would say, let's go with aesthetics. A person named King Kong Crazy who does not participate in panels in the Umar Johnson sector is coming on and he's registering his complaints against me. And the man is Rev G, who he's talking about, just so we're clear. And you heard him eventually mentioning my name. And the aesthetics are very odd. Because, number one, the vast majority of those in the Umar Johnson sector are unaffected, were never at risk, are not at risk for their employer to be contacted. The overwhelming majority don't have any concern because they primarily, despite the fact that I don't agree with a lot of what they say, they don't conduct themselves in a manner that would prompt their employer to be even considered for a call. Not liking me or not liking Rev G or not liking AFW or talking shit about us is not a reason to contact someone's employer. So the vast majority of people in the Umar Johnson sector have absolutely no concern about their jobs being called. There are select few number of people, and I think it's despicable that the overwhelming majority of these individuals are public servants. That to me is just disgraceful. So he's batting out because it doesn't even apply to most of the people. Even those who don't agree with jobs being called, they are largely unaffected. So I question to what degree KKC thought he was going to have an impact by coming over here and complaining about my conduct with people who don't rock with me, but they're not affected by jobs being called, but they don't have anything. They don't even see KKC in these live streams. Not only that, his demeanor was foul and disrespectful. If you want something from someone, you need to come up with a different approach in order to get them to listen to what you're actually saying versus focusing on your foul and abusive demeanor. So he bats out in that respect. So continuing to drive on me and call me names, it's ineffective. Those in the Umar Johnson sector have their own set of issues with me. Even if they don't agree with calling the jobs, how in the world is he expecting them to align with him? Who he's aligning with and who he's clearly identifying he's aligning with are the rogue public servants whose conduct has been deplorable. So there was no way that was going to work. He's insulting them. He's cursing them out. He's targeting who was widely known and accepted as the godmother, Stargate. He's targeting her, disrespectful, calling her bitches, and all kinds of derogatory gender-based names. You were never going to win on that account. You came in on the wrong slide. You came in on the wrong angle. How would people drop what they're doing and revere this person? Didn't even come in here with any sort of niceties. Just started attacking people. Primarily me. Hey, you have this person, KKC, attacking me in a sea of people who don't even rock with me, and it failed because he thought he carries some sort of weight. How are you carrying weight when you don't even engage? Lennon Honor would not be any more successful. He would encounter severe hostility, leaving his live stream to jump on a panel and to tell people to attack me. That is also going to fail. Even with people who can't stand me, even with people who don't rock with me. See, people, the strategy, you got to have a strategy. You have to plot it out. And this is one of the issues that I had being over there on KKC's page. He wants a result, but he doesn't foster or nurture the process by which he's more likely to achieve that outcome. He wants to go ahead and it's his business, his choice, completely free will to rock with people who are very abusive. So his focus is on me, who addresses the conduct after issuing multiple warnings to cease the behavior which is unauthorized, which violates multiple laws and the code of conduct for public servants. But he's focusing on attack anti-Afro Svengalis because she costs jobs. And he keeps screaming this and screaming this and screaming this, but he's coming up against a brick wall because he's so damn disrespectful and abusive, especially to Stargate. So that's why it didn't work. Your strategy fell completely flat with enemies. And even demons didn't support you. The people who can't stand me were not going to say, we can't stand anti-Afro Svengalis. We go off on her on a regular basis, but we're going to side with King Kong Crazy, who actually treats us like shit. They just can't stand me. I don't treat them like shit. They cannot accept the fact that somebody comes in here who never even visits their platforms. Because when you visit a platform, you support the platform. It's engagement coming to the channel. He doesn't come here, but he ran up here and thought because they can't stand me that he was going to get an immediate allegiance, and he was barking orders and being rude, being a cad, C-A-D, a male who was extremely disrespectful to women, and thought he was going to hit home runs. No, that's not the way it works. So let's move on, because we're focusing on jobs specifically, because I have other things I could say about King Kong Crazy. That's all good. And he was calling me names too. So people who couldn't stand me, they weren't applauding. The vast majority were not applauding the fact that King Kong Crazy was calling me names and calling Stargate names. Of course, there's a few people, but most people didn't go for that. Most people did not appreciate, they felt insulted that he looked at them. He demeaned them for expecting they're going to bow down to him just because there seems to be a common denominator, me, anti-Afro Svengali, so they can't stand, but they would be beneath him if they would go along with this. It didn't work. It was never going to work. And the louder he screamed, the more outrageous he became, the more belligerent he came, the more people he offended. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, I typed some messages. I type my messages. Not everybody agrees with me. See, I can tolerate disagreement. What I cannot tolerate and I won't tolerate is abuse. He doesn't know the difference. He feels you must agree with him. Even if someone feels you must agree with them, that doesn't make them abusive. They may in their head say, oh God, I don't want to deal with that person. I can't get an agreement. He goes overboard. You heard what he said. You heard how he acted. So let's move on to let me see your handcuffs for the second time. And this is going to answer or address King Kong Crazy's issues that he has about contacting jobs and trying to destroy careers. Let's make this clear. How are you destroying someone's career if they're giving you the tools by which to register a complaint. They opened up their mouths and they made the statements. So they are the ones who are squandering their career, not a person who decides to use a legal process to report the conduct after having warned the public servant, the rogue public servant, multiple times. And there's no need to have any warning. We could call the first time out. But no, they kept on and on and on. They used it for sport. They used it for entertainment. And where was King Kong crazy when that was going on? I didn't hear any protesting. There was no protesting from King Kong Crazy. As a matter of fact, he nurtured a lot of this conduct in his chat, which is why I got the hell up out of there. And he's up here running around saying he put me, and you didn't put us anywhere. I left. And I'm going to keep saying I left. So what you said after I left, I'm banned. Good, I'm banned. I don't care. Which is also a lie because I've left messages on his page when he got into his big dust up with Remix the first time. I left him messages of support and he turned around and crapped on me. That's a whole nother story. But you didn't kick me out of anywhere. I left and didn't come back, and Gerald was never really over there. I begged him to go over there with me for moral support because of the shit that you were tolerating in your chat. You tolerated shit. I didn't make a big scene about it. It was never a big scene because you called it subliminals. Subliminals are not a big scene. Subliminals are undercurrents. So I didn't disrupt your platform. As a matter of fact, after I left, I never went back with troll names and bombing your chat and doing all this crap that we see going on in these live streams. You cannot say your chat was ever disrupted because of me or anyone who rocks with me. Now, what has happened, he's been pissed off because people don't agree with him and he ends up banning them because they don't agree with him. That has nothing to do with me. Those people weren't rocking with me while they were over there. Your chat was never disrupted by me. So how dare you sit up here and try to act like you got some position that you can push people around and they have to listen to you, or I have to listen to you. I don't have to listen to you. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going to do whatever I damn well please, and I don't need your permission. I don't need your approval. You move with free will. You say what the hell you want, but you think no one else gets to. You want people to hear everything you say and obey you. We are not your slaves. And the fact that he came over to that Umar Johnson sector where there's a bunch of people who don't rock with me and they decided we don't have to be AAS or King Kong Crazy. How dare you give us a choice? See, that's insulting. The same thing that Dumpsy did. He needs to go hang out with Dumpsy, trying to give people an ultimatum. These are grown-ass people who aren't going to be told they have an ultimatum. And Dumpsy was even more insulting. Even more insulting when he specified, I'm talking to the men. What man is going to put up with that? It doesn't matter who they're talking about. It's not even about taking my side, because it's not taking my side. Because again, you have a bunch of dudes who can't stand me. They don't rock with me, but they refuse to be put in a situation where Dumpsy was going to give them an ultimatum and tell grown-ass men to choose? Who's going to put somebody in that position? King Kong Crazy did that, and so did Dumpsy. You two need to link up together and see how successful your approach is. It's not going to be successful, but you're welcome to try. So let me go back to let me see your handcuff.
Why is this about you? He could have built the Propane Oakland morning show.
So he could,
like invited us up here. You make it about yourself.
No, bitch, this is about the sector.
You didn't watch who you call the bitch.
You don't have to sit up over here. You want to sit up there and take up for that monkey motherfucker. You do it at your own.
And you want to take up for a woman that basically harassed you.
You want to take
up for people on this channel and call my motherfucking job.
You pick and choose who to fuck with.
You're whiny. I'm not going to get frustrated and we end up on the you don't understand. Your intellectual development delayed.
But did you hear what Let Me See Your Handcuffs said to Stargate? Did you pick up on that? Let Me See Your Handcuffs violated her code of conduct in that exchange. Remember, Let Me See Your Handcuffs is the school teacher. She has the responsibility to conduct herself accordingly, and she failed. Did you hear what she said to Stargate? In case you didn't catch it, I'm going to isolate that comment. Here it is.
You don't
I'm
understand
still
your
in the top dog
intellectual
in this bitch.
development
I'm
delay.
still
Your
in the top dog
intellectual
in this bitch.
development
I'm
delay.
For those who didn't catch it, school teacher, let me see your handcuffs, identified Stargate as intellectually and developmentally delayed. In other words, she's calling her retarded. That's the reformed name, the modified name for mental retardation. So this is a school teacher who I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark. You don't know anything about Stargate's developmental history, how she was born, where she was born, what her milestones are, how she did in school. Do you have that information? Have you ever met with any of Stargate's relatives and interviewed them as to her developmental milestones as a child from birth to 18? There is an extensive amount of information that you would need to gather about a person before you could ever even consider them being developmentally or intellectually delayed. Did Stargate, was she that close to you? Did she talk to you about her personal history? We know she didn't tell you anything of the kind. So what you're doing is violating your code of conduct. You're essentially again calling somebody retarded, like you called Mookie. You called him retarded. And you were reported to your school district, and you should have been reported. Who the hell does let me see your handcuffs think she is because she can't get somebody to agree with her? She wants to call them retarded. There you go, King Kong Crazy. There goes a reason as to why let me see your handcuffs ass gets reported to her employer. Nobody out there can sit here and tell anybody you cannot or you should not be reporting a rogue public servant who has students in her class who have been identified as special needs due to intellectual and developmental delays. Because special ed throughout the country is full inclusion, which means students who have been identified with these disabilities are integrated into the general education population. It is extremely rare that they do pullouts, that they have self-contained special ed classrooms. It is called full inclusion. So she sees these students with these identified disabilities every single day. And she decides that she's going to identify Stargate as being intellectually and developmentally delayed. You called her retarded. So that's why your ass gets reported. We don't have to cater to you. You complain that you got called in and you sat down and you had to answer questions. You should have been answering questions. You are not allowed to come on here as a teacher and diagnose people. That is one thing you are never going to see me doing or hear me doing. You haven't heard. This is a frustration for them because the things that they are doing, I have not replicated the conduct. I haven't diagnosed a single person since I came on here on YouTube in 2017. You can't saddle me with diagnosing anyone. You can't saddle me with calling anybody a bitch. You can't say I called someone a hoe. You can't say anything like that because those words never left my mouth in referencing somebody. Now, I quoted, so-and-so said this. I don't have any of that terminology with me that I've called anybody those names. You don't have replicating conduct. I'm all for free speech, but I'm also recognizing you increase your chances of running afoul of code of conduct violations when you use gender attacking language, when you use the F word. I don't even use the F word here on YouTube. I don't feel deprived. I use the F word quite often when I'm not on YouTube, but you're not going to catch me using it on here. I have nothing against anyone else who uses it, but those individuals are not at risk like public servants are at risk when they regularly use this type of language. And you can't punish me because I'm in someone's chat and they're using this language. But what you can run afoul of, if you are applauding someone who is using this language and you are joining in while they're engaging in harassing conduct while using this language, which let me see your handcuffs has done. She sat up in chats while I was threatened with rape and murder and she laughed. Same thing with King Kong Crazy, thumbing up and laughing at videos where Rev G was threatened with pistol whipping, threatened to have a gun shoved in his mouth. I am supposedly going to be forced to watch this, and the person was going to run over Rev G with a van. KKC applauded these comments, and you have the nerve to sit here and say, because you and Remix are in some disagreement, the fact that I'm sitting there in the chat, I'm going to be saddled responsible because of your conflict. Do you see the absolute madness in this? KKC also applauded and laughed at comments where there was this 33-minute tirade about how this idiot planned to sexually degrade me and force me into sex acts. King Kong Crazy thought it was just fine. He thumbs it up and laughed. There was another video where somebody was calling me, quote, crazy. King Kong Crazy went over there and thumbed up that video. King Kong Crazy himself even got up on a platform and called me crazy and made all these degrading comments to me. See, here's the difference. I'm not going to return those comments because that would put me at risk to make any comments on anybody's mental health status or to replicate the statements that he made about me. But I can come up with some other creative names if I really wanted to call King Kong Crazy names. I'm making it clear you got a lot of nerve sitting here trying to accuse me of doing something that you're doing. That's outrageous, and I'm definitely not going to accept it. I'm speaking out. I'm letting people know exactly what went down. It's all documented. I understand that this person's channel was taken down by YouTube, but we have the videos verifying, and we have the screenshots. Where are the screenshots with me, with Rev G, and Stargate applauding somebody saying they wanted to kill you or we wanted you dead? You don't have any such evidence. Quit trying to blame us and assign us for conduct that you're engaging in. There are screenshots. There are videos with you doing these things. There are no videos with us doing these things. He's thumbing up these videos, but then he's coming around lying and saying that I wanted him dead. How in the hell are you going to sit here and try to accuse me of wanting you dead when you did just that to me and to Rev G? But you're turning it around to say that we want you dead because you're arguing with Remix and you're challenging him to a duel. Do you see how people like to change everything around and always try to blame you for something that they have done? Is insulting. I actually defended his crime victim rights and he went off on me. So I said nothing. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But what is this now, Gag-A-Chat? Whenever somebody's going to talk about King Kong Crazy, the whole chat is gagged? That makes just as much sense as that prosecutor who tried to gag the damn community who was protesting over Breonna Taylor's murder and the Kyle Rittenhouse situation with him killing two people who were chasing him and all the publicity, and the prosecutor goes, we got to get a gag order. The judge is going, how do I gag a community? How do I gag a nation? How do I gag a protest? There's protests everywhere. Gag the chat. Okay, that is absolutely asinine. That he thinks he can gag chats because people are talking about him or the host is talking about him. I'm not even up on the damn panel, but for some reason out of everybody in Remix's chat, I'm responsible for everything that happens there. It's just, please pick another scene, pick another route, pick another scenario. This doesn't make any sense, people. But what does make sense, we have an absolute right to file complaints when we are harassed. Trust you me, the white folks aren't going to give you 5 and 6 warnings. They're going to file complaints on your ass right away. You should be thankful that you were given the opportunity to stop what you were doing. Nobody says we have to accept verbal abuse and threats. And it's particularly galling to hear people like King Kong Crazy protest contacting jobs when he didn't have any solution. I will continue to repeat that. What solution did you offer? You're just coming over to the Umar Johnson sector and trying to put me under some death sentence and telling people to do this and that to me. And if I were you, I wouldn't be. Who are you? This is ridiculous. This is completely self-serving. Nobody should fall for it. You want to talk about what people should be doing? Like you're saying what people should be doing when it comes to me? Well, nobody should be listening to you. You don't have any credibility. And it's outrageous to think we should be catering to this person who crapped on everybody. Crapped on me personally, crapped on Rev G personally, and we're supposed to be deferring to his whims and his demands and his whines and his expectations. That is not going to happen. Again, the vast majority of people have no concern because they're not conducting themselves in the manner that you see these rogue public servants. And let me see your handcuffs is one of them. These are the people that King Kong Crazy elects to shout out and be with. That's your damn business. But it has no bearing on what we're going to do. We have free will. We are not slaves. We have total and complete right to pick up any device that we own, we pay for, and make any sort of report or phone call we damn well please. And I'll tell you one thing for sure. I'm going to do just that if people harass and threaten me. What I'm not going to try to do is make sense out of the nonsensical. You have King Kong Crazy telling people who don't rock with me not to rock with me. Okay, that was easy. They're not rocking with me anyway. So what difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference. Even more nonsensical, trying to influence the Umar Johnson sector about what to do with me. I'm not even in the Umar Johnson sector. I carved out an existence with others. Then other people came along and created the Umar Johnson sector. So on both accounts, it's nonsense what he's saying. Number three, this whole notion that people should be deferring to him is truly like comical if you really want to think about it. I think what he needs to do is worry about those on his channel who are there existing in a precarious state. They are leaving and creating new screen names, or they're staying there and creating new screen names and don't want him to know. Why? Because he'll go and block them. So he has an element over there of fear. I'm not there, so that doesn't impact me. Again, call me all the names you want. We see it happens with King Kong Crazy when you call him names. He goes off, he flips out, he starts coming online, drinking and screaming and cursing. Okay, fine. If that's what floats your boat, that's what's floating your boat. It doesn't have any impact on me. I'm not the one over here trying to force people to think a certain way about others. Do you hear me going over to his chat or even doing videos and pointing out people in his chat, telling them not to rock with him? Well, a lot of them already know that, and they're doing that on their own. But again, he's not running any show. He's not in charge of anything. Apparently not even himself. All he does is level insults and verbal abuse and think he's going to shame people and guilt people into changing their conduct. It's not going to work with me. Whatever you decide to do, you do it. If I want to open up my mouth and talk about you, I'll do it. Just like you have no problem opening your mouth and being disrespectful and abusive. People, listen, you know there is much more to come. In the meantime, you know the drill. Buyer, beware.